They are still 28 games over the 500 mark, but why am I feeling like I'm at my lowest low with the Milwaukee Brewers right now?
You are Locked On Brewers, your daily Milwaukee Brewers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, everybody. Good to have you along. Chuck Freimund, longtime sportscaster here in the great state of Wisconsin and proud host of Locked On Brewers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. Been covering the Brewers for a long, long time. Have seen more downs than ups. We all have as Brewer fans, right? But the train keeps going. The train keeps going. We're on the Locked On Podcast Network, the number one sports podcasting network in the world. Locked On Brewers, the number one Brewers podcast on the internet. Well, the Brewers will be trying to avoid the sweep a little bit later on this afternoon in San Diego. We'll talk about that. The injuries are piling on right now to their troubles. That was the worst game of the year, a bad start to the road trip. I hate to start with a bunch of negatives, but guys, I just can't sugarcoat this. I can't sugarcoat this. They're out on the West Coast. They got a 4-game lead on the Cubs right now. And I don't have a good vibe right now about these guys. I have for most of the season. But every time I feel like I'm going to go in that direction, even when they lost a 6-game skid, had a 6-game skid earlier this year, there was always hope in me thinking, okay, they're going to get going here. They were 18-16 at one point, and they just took off. But man, I know as a Wisconsin sports fan, the old saying goes, we all think that shoe is going to eventually drop. But what happens, this version of the Milwaukee Brewers over the last couple of years, every time they seem to be at their lowest low, they come back and win a game. Now, Tuesday was not that. Monday, they played a terrible game, 3-2, couldn't hit the ball worth a darn. And then they come back on Tuesday, and as I told this story in my short video, my rapid reaction after the game, I was fired up for today's game. I was talking about how important a game this was. Kyle Harrison on the mound. Let's go, because the Brewers always bounce back from a bad game. And then it was one classic nightmare. This was the worst game of the season. Might have been the worst game I've seen in 2 years. Hear me out on this, from all different angles. Not only one of the star pitchers on your team, Kyle Harrison, pitched terribly into the 5th inning, 10 hits, gave up 8 runs, 3 home runs. It was just a brutal outing for him. And then I thought, well, he's getting tattered out there. Is there something going on? Did he have an injury setback? What is going on that he is struggling so badly out there? And yeah, he could have got he could have got the benefit of a double play, and Murph said even a triple play back in the 2nd inning in that 5-run inning for the Padres. I get that, okay? But, Harrison did not look good at all. Did not look good, and Brewers got into a big hole, and they were done. 5-0. They cut it to 5-1, but by the time it got to 8-1, we're off getting ice cream, and that was it. That was it. I feel like this 2-game skid is like a 15-game skid. I can't imagine. Like the Cubs, would they lose 13 in a row earlier this year? Man, if the Brewers went on that type of a bad run, I'd be losing my mind. I'd be losing my mind. But man, I was all set to join in, ate dinner, sitting down on my couch, going to watch the game. And I was like, man, let's go get some ice cream, because I don't want to watch this anymore. Rengifo. You knew it was going to happen. I just knew he was going to have his moment against the Brewers in this series. On top of it, the Brewers are still paying him $3.5 million. Well, prorated, $3.5 million salary. He's on a minor league deal with the Padres because the Brewers released him. But Rengifo comes up, bases loaded, 2nd inning, and hits the home run. Rengifo, who had not homered in any of the 2 months that he was here, has his moment against Milwaukee and makes it a 5-0 game. Where was that, Luis, when you were here? You were given every opportunity at third base. They ran you out there every game. There was nobody behind you. There was no pressure whatsoever. Third base was yours, and nothing happened here. For whatever reason, nothing happened here. He goes out to San Diego, and he lights it up. Absolutely lights it up. Terrible here. He gets to San Diego, and you can't take him out of the lineup. Playing left field, spots Machado over at third base, will DH. Wasn't playing regularly at the beginning, but now he is, and hit the home run tonight. And my heart just sunk when that happened. Just a terrible feeling. And at that moment, it was 5-0, and I was saying, this is not going to be the start of a bad run for the Brewers, right? Because it's been a mostly fun summer again, just like it was last year. And I don't blame the Brewers for cutting Rengifo, right? I mean, he was terrible here. They cut their losses. And I don't even want to hear about, well, you should have kept him because maybe he turned it around. No, obviously he wasn't going to get it done here for whatever reason. The sad thing is, again, Brewers are still paying him. 17 hits by San Diego. And then, of course, it's done way too often, but I get it. And the Brewers further saved their bullpen by having Sanchez pitch in this game. I get it. I just don't like seeing my team throwing out a position player at the end, and he threw a scoreless inning. And on top of it, Contreras almost got hurt in that inning. He got struck on the arm. That's an 11-2 game. You don't need or 11-1 at that point. You don't need your star catcher to get hurt in a game like that. So many bad things were happening in this game. I mean, the broadcast, they ended up starting to talk about cereal on the broadcast, which, hey, they're just trying to keep the audience. They're just trying to keep the audience alive. And I get it. And what living room across the state of Wisconsin wasn't talking about what their favorite cereal was growing up as a kid when they started talking about cereal in the broadcast booth? That was the lighthearted part about it. I mean, that's how bad this game was. For like an inning or so, they talked about cereal, breakfast cereal. I wonder if Jeff Levering kept that in his notepad and said, you know what, if we ever get a blowout game, we don't have many, but if in case we do, I'm going to bring out this cereal. I don't remember what started the conversation, but something that it was actually pretty organic, and it turned out to be pretty funny. It took us through the rest of the game, that's for sure. But the bottom line is, you wish they hadn't had to turn to that because of how poorly the play was. Lockridge had a couple of errors. The play was sloppy. It was just 17 hits by the Padres. Everything stunk in this game. Monday's game, that was a lifeless game, and I reserved that term for the Chicago Cubs, but I can't use it right now on them. But Tuesday's game was the worst. And speaking of the Cubs, before the Brewers game, Cubs had the early game in Washington. Watching that, got home from golf. Of course, I put the Cubs game on. The Cubs on the course, they're down 3-2. And of course, they get back here and they're up 8-4. That alone wanted me to break a bobblehead. And the Nats had a rally going there in the 8th inning and got it to within 8-6. But the Cubs won again. They've won 8 of 12. The Cubs are now 20 games over the 500 mark, 70-50. And to say that I'm not a little nervous about the Cubs being 4 games behind Milwaukee at this point, I'd be kidding myself. I'd be kidding myself. Yes, I do scoreboard watch. I'm watching what the Cubs are doing in their series, and every game they are watching. I got them highlighted on my phone here because I always keep one eye on the Cubs. Always. The only team in the division I'm keeping track of right now. Used to be the Cardinals, now it's the Cubs. Cardinals way back in the day. But the offense, just terrible. And I know some of you guys are talking about Vogelbach, that the guy was a 221, 219 career hitter, and he's taking a lot of heat right now because the Brewers are terrible offensively. Are they going to fire Vogelbach? No. I don't know what they're going to do in the offseason, but this is not Vogelback's fault. This is a product of the Brewers not having enough offense on this team. Going into the season, they knew it. And again, as badly as Harrison was, this is an offensive problem tonight. Jiwan Bae was playing second base. I'm going to talk about that next here on Locked On Brewers. Running a business should never feel like you're trying to connect a bunch of systems that were never designed to work together in the first place. One app for accounting, another for inventory, another for sales. Somehow, none of them ever talk to each other. That's where Odoo comes in. Odoo is the all-in-one business management software that brings every part of your business together in one powerful platform. From sales to accounting to inventory, marketing, everything works in one place. So, you're helping your team move faster, stay organized, focus on growing the business instead of managing software. Everybody knows the best organizations, just not about talent. It's about having everybody working toward that same goal. That's true in sports, just like it is in business. Great organizations like yours win because operations matter. And I'm talking to you executives out there, you business owners. You know that more than anybody. That's why you should get Odoo. Try it for free today. Odoo.com/lockedon. Odoo. Odoo is ODOO.com/lockedon. Try it for free today. Odoo is going to point you in the right direction. Try it for free. Odoo, ODOO.com/lockedon. We also are brought to you in part by FanDuel. FanDuel, baseball fans, if you think you know is going to hit a home run today, well, FanDuel is giving you a free chance to call your shot with Daily Dingers. It's easy to play. Just make your free pick on who you think is going to hit a home run in their game. If you're right, you'll receive a profit boost. And you can use that on your next bet for a chance with even more winnings. Best of all, you can make this free pick every day throughout the MLB season. Every day you can do this. It's free. Daily Dingers is just another fun way to stay engaged with every day's games, whether you're following your favorite team, keeping an eye on the matchups around the league. Every game has got someone capable of going deep, and now you get that chance to make your prediction before the first pitch. Man, as much as the Milwaukee Brewers are struggling right now, I'm going to come back with William Contreras, provided that he's in the lineup later on today. And I don't see why he shouldn't be, at least as a DH. William Contreras on a day game. I'm picking him to get the Daily Dinger. So, are you ready to play your game today? Join all the action at FanDuel.com. FanDuel.com. Play Daily Dingers. Make your free pick on who's hitting a home run. Play ball, swing for the fences on FanDuel, the official partner of MLB. And before we go any further, our podcast, of course, you get it on Google, Spotify, Apple, wherever you download your audio podcast. We're the #1 Brewers podcast on the internet. Please hit me up on YouTube as well. Search on YouTube, Chuck Freimund, or Locked On Brewers, actually, on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. Please always hit the like button, support the podcast. And, of course, all Locked On Brewers all the time is always free. And I appreciate, man, hearing from you guys, hearing from a lot of you guys today. Just telling me, I appreciate it. Hit me up on Twitter as well. Chuck Freimund, Freimund. Just telling me where you're watching this. I long time ago, I was like, man, I think there's only people in Wisconsin who are watching this podcast or listening to this. But it turns out it's all around the country. And I love hearing from you. I do really love it, man. And it really makes my day when I hear you. So please drop me a line. Jiwan Bae, we're going to get through this, by the way. We're going to get through these Brewer struggles, man. We are going to get through with it. But I didn't like that Jiwan Bae was starting at second base for Milwaukee. What are we doing here? I feel like for a program that's got such high expectations, some of the lineups again, and again, these guys are they're taking a beating from me right now because of the struggles, the offensive struggles, and the struggles have always been there. Jiwan Bae, who they picked up over the weekend, started at second base. Why? You know why? Because they didn't go out and get Arias. I heard enough pushback that, hey, well, Arias only wants to play second base. You can't move Turang. Turang started at shortstop again tonight. So apparently we can move Turang for Jiwan Bae, but we couldn't move it for Arias. And Arias is, last time I checked, is doing pretty darn good in Philadelphia. Having a pretty good run there with the Phillies in his early days there. Well, we didn't want the leading hitter in baseball. Now we couldn't give up a couple of minor leaguers for him. So let's go out and pick up Jiwan Bae. Play him at second base. And yeah, he dropped that ball at second base, as they could have, Murph said, even afterwards, they could have turned a triple play in that second inning, which led to the 5-run inning. They could have turned a triple play. At least a double play. I know the throw wasn't great from Hamilton, but Bae has got to still pick that ball. He's got to pick that ball out of the dirt on the stretch. He's got to catch that. Man. So why are we, we did nothing at the trading deadline or at all to help this offense, but we still like to keep on picking up the Jiwan Baes of the world and the Greg Joneses of the world and hoping and praying. And we put these guys in the lineup thinking that, well, they're going to do something for this team. Now watch, Jiwan Bae will be DFA'd. I'm not saying he is, but watch, that's the Brewers' MO. They get a guy, somehow they play him for a couple of games, they put him right in the starting lineup, and then they forget he even exists. Turang playing shortstop. Well, we couldn't pull that off for Arias, but we could apparently pull that off if we somehow got our hands on Jiwan Bae. God. Could have been a triple play. Kurt Hogue from the Journal-Sentinel put on Twitter late Tuesday night. He said the 80.4 miles per hour exit velocity for the Milwaukee Brewers versus Buehler, the starting pitcher for the Padres, the second lowest against a starter this year. Other than opening day, it's the first lowest. Second lowest versus starter. 80 miles an hour on the exit velo versus Walker Buehler. So they're the same Walker Buehler that played the Dodgers. So Walker Buehler, who's been tattered here in his last couple of starts. $80 miles an hour exit velo. All right. Bryce, I don't know what this whole game is, but the Brewers played this game where they DFA a guy and he clears waivers and then they stash him away at AAA in Nashville. And I don't know what it was, if there was a previous agreement with Bryce. I'm so worked up. I'm losing my mind. Bryce Wilson. I don't know if there was a previous agreement with Bryce Wilson. Hey, we're going to DFA you, cut you, but don't sign with anybody. Declare yourself a free agent and we'll sign you to a major league contract. But whatever it was, Bryce Wilson's back. And he's now signed to a major league contract. So whatever that was, and they DFA'd Lyon Richardson, despite pitching an inning and 2/3 on Monday night of scoreless baseball. But I'm sure he's another guy who's going to clear waivers, because where's Lyon Richardson going to go? And he'll be down at Nashville. But I don't think they'll be DFAing they need Bryce Wilson on this team. Now, Bryce Wilson had an awful night last night. 2 1/3, 5 hits, 3 earned runs. He was great a few years ago. But you know what? I'll take my chances with Bryce Wilson over Lyon Richardson. It's just funny how that works out. Brewers DFA, all of a sudden they get them, you see the tweet, the Brewers DFA'd this guy. What? He's been playing for 5 straight games. The injury report. The Brewers could, there's a few guys on this list, but could Bryce Turang be added to the injury report? Well, there's reports that he's got a sprained thumb. He's been playing with a sprained thumb. Bryce Turang, now playing with a sprained thumb. And that the Contreras, who was stuck in the arm by a bat last night. Cooper Pratt, I told you it wasn't like he was going to spend 10 days on the injured list and come back. Brewers are now saying late August with that mild, it's only a mild strain of the hamstring, but still late August. That's the date here, August 12th. So late August. He's still a few more weeks away from coming back with a mild strain of the hamstring. That's how tender that injury can be. Cooper Pratt, please come back soon. But don't rush it. But mild strain. God, I just hate looking at the lineup card and thinking, all right, what's going to be on the left side of the infield tonight? What's going to be there tonight? I'm okay with Turang at shortstop, but Bae playing second base. Bae should not be playing in a pennant race right now. If the Oakland A's want him, Baltimore, whatever, but he should not be playing in the midst. This is the fault of the Brewers too. Why are we in this position all the time? Playing guys who should not be on the major league roster when we're trying to win a pennant here and win a World Series. 56 years of this. 4-game lead now on the Cubs. Jojo Romero. Could be another couple of weeks for him. He's coming back from the appendicitis. Sal Frelick. They're saying mid-August for Sal Frelick. And, of course, that's going to be interesting to see how they work out that outfield spot with Lara. Did a nice job out there. All right, we come back. We'll set the table for Wednesday's game against the Padres, the final game in San Diego. As yes, I hate to say it, but the Brewers are trying to do whatever they can to avoid a sweep with the Padres. That's next here on Locked On Brewers. Big thank you to our friends at Amazon for this limited break. This back-to-school season, spend less on your kids with Amazon. We all know how crazy the back-to-school experience, the shopping experience can be. I hated it as a kid. I hate it as an adult, but it's a necessary evil. It starts with a few items on the list. Then suddenly you're shopping for supplies, clothes, lunch gear, tech, and about 10 other things you didn't see coming, and it adds up real fast. You might be in the store, and you're like, gosh, it's nice outside. What am I doing here in the middle of August shopping? Well, you know what? This is where Amazon comes in. You buy clothes for your kids got a growth spurt 2 weeks later. You're right back where you started. You start shopping for a few back-to-school essentials, and suddenly that list grows. Supplies, lunch gear, headphones, it keeps going. That's why finding low prices and all the things you need makes such a big difference this time of the year. And I love it that Amazon delivers right to your home. You don't have to go to the store. Amazon's right there. Remember, Amazon, low back-to-school prices. Spend less on your kids because every dollar you don't spend on them is a dollar you haven't spent on them. Shop back to school at Amazon. Amazon, spend less on your kids. Hey, everybody. Good to have you along. Chuck Freimund, longtime sportscaster here in the state of Wisconsin, and great to be having you with me here, whether you're watching us late night on Locked On Brewers or listening to us or it's early morning, wherever you are. Thank you. And thanks for hanging with us in a tough time for the Brewers right now. I haven't lost two. And I'm talking like the Brewers are on a 15-game losing streak, but it's only been 2 in a row. But I'm not feeling real good about where the team is at right now. Dustin May, I love the way he pitched last week. I thought he was terrific against the Pirates. 6 innings, 3 hits last Thursday, and had some command issues. But I thought he looked fantastic. Now, I threw my weight behind Dustin May in this trade, and I was gloating about this trade a week ago. So, Dustin May, let's go out for my sake, but more importantly, the Brewers' sake, please need a performance. But you know what? Dustin May is probably going to give him a good performance. It's a matter of the offense can back him. You know, Dustin May, is he going to go out there and work himself silly, give up 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 10 strikeouts over 7 innings, and yet here we are sitting in the 7th inning and down 2-1. Robbie Ray goes for the Padres. Ray was having a great year with the Giants. He was unbeaten in 12 straight starts, won 7 of those, got a pitcher of record on 7 of those, got the win. But then he got to San Diego, and in his first outing last week, 5 innings, 7 hits in 4 runs. 7 innings, 5 hits, 7 innings, 5 innings, 7 hits, and 4 runs. Robbie Ray overall between the Giants and Padres, 10-7, a 3.24 earned run average, but not a very good first showing for Robbie Ray. And, we will have seen their two big pitching pickups here at the trading deadline. They went out and got Mize, who pitched Monday, and Robbie Ray, who's pitching later on this afternoon. So Dustin May against Robbie Ray. Two guys were pitching in this game with 6 letters. If you combine their last names, you have 6 letters. Wonder if that's some sort of statistic out there where these two combined to have the fewest letters in their combined last name, May and Ray. Now I'm really getting off tracks right now. I'm going to be starting talking about my favorite cereal. My favorite cereal, growing up as a kid, man, I like the peanut butter Captain Crunch. But wasn't a big cereal guy growing up. Those guys in the broadcast, man, they were. I think every kid was, but I just wasn't. And I did not want to drink the milk after the cereal. I'd dump it in the sink, and the old man would not like that. They could be wasted. So I'd make sure he's going to the bathroom or whatever. I'd dump it in the sink. Yeah. Dad did not like me to waste cereal milk after the Captain Crunch peanut butter. But we didn't have Captain Crunch peanut butter. We always had some bad stuff that nobody liked. I don't know why we always got it, though. All right. That's going to bring us to the end of the podcast today. We'll be back here late tonight, early tomorrow morning with the next edition of Locked On Brewers. And man, I hope we have a win. I don't like to get all worked up and sweating. I'm sweating here in the middle of the night, getting all worked up and over a 2-game skid. But like the Brewers, like I said earlier, the Brewers always have this way of when you think they're playing handball with a curb. How about me pulling out that one? Handball with a curb. They somehow, like the Undertaker, rise up, stand up, and kick out and do the Hulk Hogan leg drop and win the finale. So they lost a series. Let's win against San Diego and start a new one with the Dodgers coming up on Thursday. All right, that's going to do it. Thanks for being an everyday, everybody. Thanks for all your messages. Hit me up on Twitter, Chuck Freimund, Freimund. Hit me up on Facebook as well. I'll be getting back to all the messages that got to me today. I'll be getting back to you guys shortly. But until then, thanks for listening and watching Locked On Brewers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day.